What's up, junkies? Welcome back in for another edition of Pigskin Junkies. Scott Panza fired up to be on the show here today. I'm Mike Larson, the big brother Jared Larson, here to talk NFL Week 7. But fellas, don't know if you saw on social media today, but on Wednesday, do you know what it was the 13th anniversary of a certain major NFL event. Do you know what it was?
Wednesday. No.
2006? No idea.
October 16th, 2006. They are who we thought they were.
Oh, yeah.
We let them off the hook. R.I.P. to Dennis.
I had Arizona in that game.
Did they cover?
Yes. And it was like, I think they were getting like 10 or 12. It was a big number. And they just puked it. I had a couple games like that. There was another Monday Nighter, Pats in Buffalo, like 2006, 7, somewhere in there.
Marshawn Lynch, Dan.
And yeah, and Bills huge underdogs, double digit plus, way up, puked it. Yeah.
Oh, is that the game that the Pats scored 2 touchdowns? It was a Monday night game.
Yes, Monday night game.
I remember Ben Watson.
Maybe
scored
08.
The second, it was 09.
Ooh.
Okay.
Ben Watson scored the second touchdown. I remember this game vividly. No, exactly.
Because I had Bills, and then I had a juicy Bills money line parlay with like some other college game because it was late in the year. I remember, and the college game came through, and Bills just Bills built
tumor.
Yeah, with no cushions. Door open,
Yep.
Freezing cold, dark as night. Only thing illuminating the entire house was the television.
Dishes everywhere, and
It was a great day.
a magazine
It was a
cut
great
out
place.
above the fireplace.
That's right.
I went there and I was like, so this is what college is like.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I wish you could have been as cool as we were.
Oh, okay. I mean, I wish we had that house. That would have been great. But
It was dope.
yeah, after they let you guys rent it out, they're like, I don't think we're doing that again.
Dude, they came in the day we had to be out. We had to be out by noon. The construction crew from the owner's daughter was moving into the house that fall. We got a knock on the door at like 9 o'clock, and they literally were like gutting the entire house as we were like hungover, taking like removing our last items. Like, and they're just literally ripping the walls down. I'm like, why did we like cleaned up and everything the day before? So
Didn't need
stupid. Anyway, yeah, I've had a great time. A lot of great memories there.
So speaking of college, this is a college NFL tie-in. Scott, we got a question on Jared. So we all saw it on the Twitter account. This came from Grant. And he goes, curious on your guys' thoughts on this. And he was like, maybe you can talk about it on the pod. So here we're doing it on the pod.
Here we go,
Putting it out
Grant.
there on the line.
On the line.
Simultaneously. So, do you think, so I guess it's kind of two-part. Do you think Tua is that good and can succeed with the coaching / talent in Miami? Or is Tua just a product of the system? Is he good because of the receivers he has around him? Is he going to essentially pull a Matt Leinart, I would say, where he had phenomenal talent around him and then got to the NFL and was non-existent? Interested to hear what your guys' thoughts are. Scott, I know from, and I guess, too, the idea of tanking in the NFL per se, how do you think that's really going to pan out?
So tanking in the NFL, we just really haven't seen too much of it. You never seen teams like outright just trade away all their talent, hoard draft picks. I've never seen anything like this from the Miami Dolphins. Now their GM is a long-time college scout, area scout, regional scout, worked his way up through scouting to become a GM. So if anyone's going to build through the draft, I think it's a guy like Chris Greer, who that's his whole background, and he can go pluck guys out of the out of college that he's enamored with, and he's got tons of picks, so he can whiff once or twice. So I think it's a great situation for Tua because you'll have a young team that can come together and like grow as a unit. I'm not sure about Tua as being a stud in the NFL. I don't watch enough of Alabama games. I would imagine that he's in too many games that they just torch teams because they're just not even close to the talent level that they're at. So it's really going to depend on who they surround Tua with. He's not going to be able to do it by himself. And certainly they have so many holes on the Dolphins right now. So it really depends on what they surround him with. But I think this GM is the perfect guy to do it because that's his whole background is scouting.
Bama kicks off at 9 p.m. this week, Scott. So you could watch like the first 8 minutes of the game and then go to bed.
That's all you need to see anyway.
Nice little put you right to sleep. Bama will score like 1,000 points in the first 10 minutes, and you can get your dose of Tua. So to the tanking question, yeah, I mean, you've never seen anything like this. I don't think that they're trying to lose. I heard a little bit on the radio this week about how that was a horseshit play call going for Tua, the actual play call, which I don't necessarily disagree with. It's a slip screen. You see that all the time on a 2-point conversion like that. So it's a terrible pass. Dude dropped the ball. It's really all there is to it. I don't think that there's any other solution. It has become so crystal clear in the NFL that you need a quarterback to be successful. Mm-hmm. Look at all the successful teams in the NFL. They all have a franchise quarterback. Teams that don't tend to kind of move through them at some type of rapid pace. So the Dolphins are going to be worst in the league. They're going to take a quarterback. In my estimation, in this year's draft class, Tua is the best of the bunch. Does that mean he'll be successful? I have no idea. I think Micah kind of hit the nail on the head as far as I'm concerned, fighting a massive, massive uphill battle. The talent around thing I don't necessarily buy because he's moving from college to the pros. So by definition, everyone else on the team is going to be just as good as, if not better than the guys he's playing with now. So I don't necessarily – the system thing coming out of college, I don't buy that. But it's really hard to say because he is smaller, so he hasn't been under a lot of pressure at his time in Alabama, and that will definitely change if he goes to South Beach. So there's just a bunch of variables that are up in the air. I don't know who else. If you're the Miami Dolphins, and let's just presume they wind up with the number 1 pick, I don't know who else you would take. Again, it's become so readily evident that you need a quarterback to be successful in this league, and I would put Tua at least shoulders above, maybe not heads and shoulders, but definitely shoulders above everyone else in this class. I don't really buy Justin Herbert. That's a me personal thing, and I mean, Trevor Lawrence can't come out for at least one more year.
Yeah, I mean, they were saying Lawrence was going to be what? A lot of GMs said they would have taken him number 1 overall last year.
He'd be number 1 overall this year, no doubt in my mind. Yeah. So that's the flip side. If you're the Dolphins, take Tua, jam him in there, pray that you have an answer by like week 16, and then if he sucks, pull the Josh Rosen. I mean, I don't see any problem with that. I feel like people get all sunk cost on it. It's like, well, you can get something for him. There's plenty of other teams looking for a quarterback.
I love the new take on Twitter this week, speaking of Josh Rosen, that, I feel so bad for him. He's been in really bad situations. You know what? He's looked terrible when he's been out there. I don't care if he has no one around him. Ryan Fitzpatrick got in there and scored 2 touchdowns easily last week against the Skins.
It's magic.
Don't give me, I feel bad for him. Maybe he's just not that good of a quarterback, and he's not meant for the NFL. Maybe that's the case.
Nobody should ever feel sorry for Josh Rosen.
No, he's gonna get thrust out of Miami. He's gonna land somewhere. He's gonna be a backup.
Tampa.
He's not gonna make Brock Osweiler money, but maybe he'll get into a better situation. But if Luke Falk was starting NFL games this year, there's a place for Josh Rosen to be a backup somewhere.
Yeah, he's bad. Luke Falk was bad.
I really regret we did not make enough money betting against Luke Falk because they just pitched it with him. I mean, we were betting against them, but there should have been that should have gotten Nathan Peterman treatment. We screwed that one up.
Nathan Peterman treatment. God, I miss that name.
Right.
I mean, if the Dolphins keep playing their cards right, they might be able to get Tua and Jerry Jeudy in this year's draft, and they could just keep Tua's number 1 receiver with him.
Dude, Jerry Judy's going to go top 10. Ruggs is probably going to go like top 12 or 15.
Yeah, I mean,
and then I forget the other guy's name. Is just a water bug, like lightning bolt.
The roster is absolutely. Their receiving core is ridiculous.
Stupid. Yeah.
I mean, they're
They're gonna have 3 guys go in the top 10 this year.
Yeah, very, very good. I mean,
It's insane.
Mel Kiper's or whatever, you know how he does his thing. Todd. He had to start the year. He had Tua 1, Judy 2, on the big board of just like best players available.
Yeah, I don't know if I buy that, but
I mean, Judy, he's gonna be good. But I mean, you look at this guy's stats. So career stats, he's averaging 69.7 completion percentage. He's thrown for 6,613 yards through basically 2 full seasons. Played 8 games. His freshman year played in 8 games. He only started
played
one.
in 8 games. That
That
was Jalen still.
Yeah. And so, Scott, just to put this in perspective, like you were saying, I think you mentioned playing time. This guy didn't play in the fourth quarter last year until November.
Oh my God.
So
Yeah, he's just not playing.
yeah, and also it just goes to show you how much Alabama never threw the football in their past, because he just broke the school like all-time passing yards last week with 6,600 yards or whatever.
Yeah, in like 30 games played, and none of them for full games.
Yeah.
Well, how many games he played in? Like a 30? Maybe a little more than that. 34, 33, 34, something like that.
Yeah,
8.
around that. So 8, 15, 6.
Yeah, so 29.
Only 9 interceptions, too, in that many games. 9 interceptions, 81 touchdowns. So, I mean, the guy can sling the rock. It's a no doubter he's able to see. So, I think we're all in favor of tanking for Tua. I'm with Jared. One of my main thoughts, too, was yes, he has a very talented team, and that can sometimes make up for it, but it goes with the argument of you have NFL talent, sure, in college, you're going to have NFL talent in the NFL. It's that simple.
Times the whole team. Yeah,
Exactly.
This is all right, and I'll make this comment of my opinion. Alabama is unbelievable as it pertains to college. They would get beat by the Miami Dolphins by 30, and it would not even be close. So all you people that are like, would Bama beat them? No. The Bengals would beat them by 50.
The Bungles, the Red Rifle, baby.
Yeah, 50.
The beige water pistol.
Yeah, it's
Ugh.
a whole different deal. Just a completely other level.
So it's
A lot of unknowns.
do we want to talk about the Thursday night game at all before we dive into?
Oh, yuck.
I'm so glad I didn't touch that game. Joe Flacco is awful. What a tease last 2 weeks. I don't know how the Titans could go out and beat that team. I'm still frustrated about it. And Chiefs, I mean, really brutal, but it sounds like Mahomes only going to be out 3 to 4 weeks. It's going to be tough for them because they're probably not going to get their bye anymore. So they'll have to travel to Foxborough in the AFC Championship. So that'll be fun.
Sound really disappointed, Scott.
Yeah. So that's over. No more Chiefs. No more Chiefs threat. That's done. Yeah, I mean, that game was disgusting. Patrick Mahomes goes out in middle of the second quarter?
Mm-hmm.
And what was the score at that point? Something to 6. 13-6?
I think it's like
16-6?
Yeah, something like that.
13-6, yeah. Or
13-6. I mean,
Yeah.
and then just blitzed with Matt Moore. Like, come on.
The Broncos
Chiefs-
are supposed to be a rushing team. They couldn't run the ball. And
That Chiefs defense is terrible. Terrible. At home, division game.
Awful.
Flacco just dumpster fire. Right back to what we thought. So you want to talk about they are who we thought they were, Micah? Joe Flacco.
Joe Flacco.
Somewhere John Elway is just looking at college football film. Who's a tall guy with big hands and can throw the ball really hard. Oh yeah, I mean far. I don't mean hard. I mean far. Yeah,
Justin Herbert will be there, I bet, next year.
I think that's probably a fair play.
But they have
West
Drew
Coast kid.
Lock.
Ooh,
Drew Lock, no good.
yeah. I feel like you gotta give him a look though.
Those are like the system things that I buy that don't work. Translation college to pro system, where it's like in your hand in 0.4 seconds and then immediately out. Like that's, I don't know. Not ultra short Drew Lock.
Not buying it. Yeah, so not to get all super technical doctor on you, which is what Jared loves for me to do, but dislocated patella, if they're saying it's good, that means there's no like chondral defects or anything like that, which is good. So there's no like chunks of bone floating around.
Of people know what that means.
That's why I'm explaining it, Jared. If you would just let me finish my sentence, you jagaloon. So
we should have Mike be that, they bring that lady doctor on ESPN and she talks about how long people are going to be out for. We're doing that segment right now with Micah.
Well, the company that I work for has a partnership with ESPN to where that's an NBC. So where they like, whenever somebody has an injury, they show them videos from my company. So not to brag, but I'm kind of a big
Micah is not a medical doctor.
Not a medical doctor. I'm like that guy in the commercial you always see on TV with the glasses and the short black spiked hair. That's like.
But he did say
about
the Holiday Express list.
Yeah, it's like not an actual doctor on the bottom. That's me, but I'm explaining to you what could have happened. So basically, if the guy has no defects or chunks of bone missing from the underside of his patella, that's going to be pretty good for the Chiefs moving forward. But that's being doctor. Let's talk football. Let's dissect some lines here, fellas.
Nice. Great transition there.
There we go.
I'm feeling it. So, I have up the wrong week. So, I'm on a roll right now as a producer. We are steamrolling. I had week 4. So, Cardinals-Giants. Giants at home.
4?
I don't know how I had week 4 up on my screen.
Not like week 6, or week 5, like last week. No, week 4.
Yeah. Cardinals, Giants, grossness. Giants at home, favored -3.
Coming out of the gate, Wonka Vader, pick of the week.
Whoa.
New York Giants, favorite bet. Wonka Vader, pick of the weekend.
It's going to be huge, baby.
Cardinals really struggle with tight ends. They've gotten torched by every tight end every week except last week because who did they play last week? I forget.
Cardinals.
Yeah. So Cardinals getting torched by tight ends. Evan Ingram coming back off the knee. Giants off 10 days. Little mini bye off a game. I think that they should be very encouraged with how they played against the Patriots. They got Saquon coming back. They got no Sterling Shepard. Little concerning. But the Giants, I think this is a great smash spot for them. Cardinals playing East Coast, 10 a.m. body clock, a lot of travel recently. I think, and also David Johnson not looking great. Chase Edmonds is a good backup, but not an every down back. Giants smash spot, Wonka Vader pick of the week.
Wow, well, I cannot top that. We coming right out of the box hot. Wonka Vader. I made this 4. I think the Giants are a little bit better than the Cardinals. Candidly, I found it a little disrespectful that it was only 3. So I would tend to agree with Scott, but no, certainly not the conviction that he has, and no play for me in the contest or with my hard-earned dollars.
Jared not getting in the elevator with you, Scott. How do you feel about that?
It's okay.
I mean, he had a golden ticket in his hand.
He doesn't feel the enthusiasm for Daniel Jones. He's not a Daniel Jones truther.
Not
like
a Danny Dimes.
It's 2 versus 1 on this podcast for Danny Dimes.
I did see a tweet that I thought was pretty funny after, I think, the Vikings game. And this guy was like, so can we get an apology from the people who said we need to apologize for talking down about Daniel Jones? It's like just this constant cycle of, I was right. No. I was right. No, I was right.
Twitter, only on Twitter.com.
Only on the bird. Next up, Texans traveling to Indy to take on the Colts. Colts are favored -1.
Second favorite bet of the weekend.
Hot.
Indianapolis Colts. Coming off the bye, Darius Leonard back. T.Y. Hilton healthy, playing. Great spot for them because we got a banged up secondary for the Texans. Great offensive line for the Colts that are going to keep J.J. Watt and crew at bay. And I think this is, last year in the AFC wildcard round, they smoked this team. They smoked the Texans. And I know it was with Andrew Luck, but Jacoby Brissett has filled in nicely this year. They coming off a game that they went to Kansas City, beat the Chiefs. I love the Colts here. Texans flying high. I think they come back down to earth this weekend. Colts.
It doesn't just go upways and downways. It goes frontways and backways and crossways and frontways and sideways. Wonkavator, Colts, division game, bloodbath, off the bye. Love the spot. Love this team. Divisional game. I'm just going to keep fading the Texans. And one of these weeks, I'm going to get the money. This is actually second Wonkavator pick on the Colts in this short season thus far. I really like this team. I love Frank Reich. I think the defense is significantly improved. I must admit that Laramie Tunsil has done a great job of keeping Deshaun Watson standing upright, which scares me because I think he's really good when he has that ability. But at home here in division, laying only one, I think, is extremely disrespectful to the quality of team that the Colts are putting out on the field these days. So give me the Colts.
And also last year, it was in Houston where they cooked the Texans. So this one at home, Texans been in some up and down games lately. So
that was at Westgate when we watched that together, wasn't it?
It was. Yep.
I think everyone in our group had the Colts in that game.
Yeah.
It was a party.
It was over quick. Yeah, I was going to say that's why we went brown early.
Yeah. Just in time for the Seahawks game where everyone in there was a Cowboys fan. Everyone was coming at us hard, and I was like, look, you got 2 Vikings fans and a Pats fan here. Like, it's not really – we just like Russell Wilson, okay? Leave us alone. Next up, it's time to circle the wagons. Dolphins traveling to beautiful Buffalo to take on the Bills -17. Scotty, let's go.
Bills off the bye, 3 straight home games. We could hit the season over in this home stretch. It's very possible because we got the Dolphins and the Skins. This is my square spot of the weekend. I will lay the 17. Dolphins, worst rush defense in the NFL. Xavier Howard, probably going to be out again. He's practiced a little bit this week, but he's banged up. I think they're going to hold him back. Devin Singletary back. This is a pound the rock type of game, and then the Bills that defense will force some turnovers. They're my DFS defense of the weekend. They are my team of the weekend. Bills laying the 17 square spot of the weekend.
Scotty is gassed up. He's eating those points like it's a dish at Sunday dinner with Ma. Just no position here. This game is Pukefest USA. Fitzmagic back in Buffalo, a place that he was pretty successful in. And
I forgot about that.
I really like this guy. I don't know how he does it, but he does this almost like intramural football backyard, like dink and dunk. I think they'll be able to control the ball pretty well, but I don't think, to Scott's point, I expect the Bills defense to bow up if and when they get on the plus side of the field. So not a lot of points here from Miami. A lot of field goals, not a lot of touchdowns. I don't know. I don't know that I trust the Bills offense to score what's probably going to need to be in the 30s to cover this number. I don't know that I see it.
So Scott, would you say you're circling the square?
I'm circling the square. Perfect. Love it.
Next up, a game that I'm terrified to watch, but I will be sitting somewhere because my wife will be sleeping. She'll be getting back from night shift. And I will not be able to watch this game at home, and that is Vikings traveling to the Motor City Kitties. The Vikings are favored by 1.
Oh, this is one of my favorite games of the weekend to watch. I will not touch this game. I lean Lions, but I think this could be a Dalvin Cook smash spot against that run defense. It's definitely not going to be a Kirk Cousins-led game. The secondary of the Lions is fantastic. I'm not touching this one. Very close game. Lions on the short week, which concerns me. Vikings riding high. I think the line is a little bit overreacting to what they've done in the last 2 weeks. Staying far away. Really excited to watch. Well, I won't be watching any football this weekend. Sadsies.
Whoa. What?
I have a personal. I can watch Sunday Night Football. That's all I can do this weekend. Unfortunately, I got some personal stuff on Sunday, so Lions.
If I see pictures from like the pumpkin patch,
No, not that.
you're gonna get endless
It's
hell.
actually it's actually important. I can't
Okay.
say what, but I can't.
That's fine.
be
No,
watching.
I understand. As long as it's real. I'm just saying, if I see you in the flannel,
No.
it's like
No.
a quarter sip, sucking
Wow.
down apple cider.
My wife knows that
30.
she's not dragging me to the pumpkin patch on a Sunday during football. But this, so this is one of my favorite ones to watch the replay of. I think it's going to be a great game. Lean Lions, but I'm not touching this. It's just too close in division.
Ooh, I played Vikings. Kirky, Nooner, send it.
You know,
Vikings are getting right now.
They-
I think Zimmer's a better defensive mind than Patricia. I think he's got better dudes on defense, and the Lions just find ways to lose games.
No,
It's really
unfortunate.
all. They should be better than what they are, but I don't. I think if you're getting 3-4 here, that's obviously a different story. I like the Vikes to go on the road and get it done. They've played really well, and I feel like they're finding a little bit of rhythm on offense. Indoors, 1:00 or noon. Detroit, is that East Coast time? I don't even know. Anyways,
Yeah, I think.
I will take the Vikings here and lay the short number. So I got two 1-point favorites.
I'm nervous, but I do like the defense, and I feel like before the playoff, if the Vikings go to the playoffs, I'm gonna just go on a rampage and tweet everywhere Kirk sucks and just try and piss him off or something. So that way, I mean, ever since then, the guy's been total.
Vikings are destined to be like a 9-7 to 11-5 playoff team that lose in the divisional round.
Yeah.
That's their destiny.
And just torture fans like you, Micah.
Yeah, Mike can just take the torture.
And here's the funny thing, and all of my friends that are also friends with Jared will laugh at this and go, because whenever the script is flipped and it's me talking about how the Vikings are always going to let me down, Jared goes, Minnesota fans always just so down on themselves. This guy is falling. But then he pulls a thing like this. No, I got you on tape now, my friend. You are screwed.
No, you guys are all just self-sulking. You should just accept what they are, which is an above-average team, and that's okay.
Right. So when we say that they're going to lose that game, we're saying the exact same thing. But hey, who am I? Scott, you can decide on that one.
It's a different tone. It's like
I'm done with you. Next up, the Raiders traveling to Lambeau Field, -4.5 for the Packers.
Devontae Adams out, announced today. If you've listened to this podcast for a while, you know how much I like betting against the Raiders. I'm flipping the script this weekend. I'm taking the Raiders coming off the bye. They had a 3-week road trip. I really think the team came together. Concerned Trent Brown at right tackle may be out for this game. Not helpful because they need a big Josh Jacobs game. I will take the 4.5 points. I think it's a field goal game. I actually think the Raiders are a little frisky here. And the Packers got a lot of injuries on their side of the football. So I'll take the points. John Gruden's record on the road, obviously horrid. But maybe he's getting things going now. So I'll ride the Raiders.
Whoa.
I tell you what, man. That right there is a good pick.
Oh, jeez.
No, I'm not taking the Raiders. I'd love to see what this one was like. Look ahead, or it's obviously not a game of the year. But if you'd have lined this before the season, I bet it would have been 13, 14 points. So just too skinny for me in a short sample size. But I'm with Scott. 8.5. Okay, so I'm with Scott. I think that the Raiders are getting much better. They've played a very difficult schedule early in the season well. And I'll look to play them as we get into the middle part of the year here. But this will just be a data point for me. No action here.
I was trying to avoid consensus this weekend, and I just had to plug my nose with the Raiders here. I think this is just a great spot for them. Packers short week. The Raiders, that division's wide open for them right now. If Matt Moore's at quarterback. That's a motivating game.
Are the Packers legit? I do want to ask that question. I mean, how do you feel about this team potentially as a contender?
Can't stay healthy.
Yeah, if they can stay healthy. I think they have Aaron Rodgers. So, and they have great home field advantage if they can get it in the playoffs. So, I mean, the NFC is just wide open right now. I don't know what to make of the NFC. Mm-hmm. So, they're right there. They're right there with the Niners, I think.
Red Rifle at home.
Water pistol.
Taking on Uncle Rico and Gardner Minshew.
I call something else the Beige Water Pistol, but yeah.
Staying far away from this one, I'd lean Bengals just because I don't think the Jaguars with Gardner Minshew should be laying 9.5 if this game was in Jacksonville. They just lost Jalen Ramsey. The Bengals at times can move the football, but most of the time they just look like the worst team in the NFL next to the Dolphins with no offensive line versus a team that can get after the passer with the best of them from Jacksonville. I mean, staying far away. The Jags defense hasn't been awesome this year without Ramsey. This is a spot that the Bengals should be able to move the ball a little bit, but they won't because they have inept coaching, and they're still trotting out Andy Dalton for God knows what reason. Ryan Finley must look terrible in practice because they should get him in there ASAP.
I think Andy Dalton's making 20-something million, so they're probably like, all right, get out there and chuck it around. For a lot of the reasons that Scott said and then didn't pull the trigger because he's scared, I will be on the Bungles, plus 3.5. I think if you flip this around, Jags laying, call it 10 in Jacksonville, I don't buy that. I haven't seen enough from their offense with Gardner Minshew. I know we all love to chop up and say that he's great. I haven't seen an ability to move the ball up and down the field with any regularity. And they do not deserve, in my opinion, to be a favorite on the road against anybody. So I sit there and say, okay, you're going to give me more than a field goal. Now, interestingly, this one's moved against me. I'm seeing some 4s out in the market right now, which, again, is just very perplexing to me. But I will take the Bungles at home getting the points. That's contest pick number 3 for me.
Who day? Not who dat. Who day?
I mean, I hope so. I keep going back to this well, and
it's running very dry.
That's scraping the bottom, finding nothing but rocks.
Jared's getting the muddy water. Just mud. Not very fresh.
No, I think I'm 1-2 because I won the opener, loser San Francisco, and then loser last week or 2 weeks ago. It's not running.
No, last week they backdoor covered against the Ravens.
You're right. So 2-1. You're right, Scott.
There you go. Water's fresh. Water's fine.
Come on in.
Next up, Dan Quinn.
Water's warm.
And the Falcons at home taking on the brand new look Rams with Jalen Ramsey. 1, I want to hear your thoughts on that trade. And then 2, spread for that game's -3 in hot Atlanta.
So Wade Phillips does like to play a lot of zone. Jalen Ramsey, more of a man-to-man defender. So, I'm curious to see how it's going to pan out. Evan Silva just torched this trade, how it doesn't make too much sense. They're going to have to pay him because he has all the leverage in the world because they just traded all these picks to get him. So they're going to have a ton of cap space tied up in 5 players next year between Goff, Donald, Cooks, Gurley, and Jalen Ramsey. So, and you got to pay Cooper Kupp eventually. I don't know how the trade's going to pan out. I just think this Falcons team has given up. I think in the email this morning I wrote Falcons, and then I saw Ramsey playing. I listened to Colin Cowherd. He flipped me onto the Rams. So I'll ride with the Rams. I have a little exposure in Circa. I have them in a couple of my Circa entries. Nothing in my Super Contest plays. I'll go with the Rams. This Falcons team is awful. I'm despised. But neither of these teams have nailed in the last few weeks. So, we'll see.
Yeah, this is a punt for me. LA is approaching Seattle territory in terms of my inability to understand what the hell they're doing. And I definitely want no part of this Falcons team. Almost, I don't want to say it at any number because everybody has a price, but it would have to be pretty entertaining and interesting for me to bet the Falcons. Yeah, I think Scott said it well on the trade. He has all the leverage in the world. And has just added more because they gave up all these picks. Now they got to pay him, and I think it's just a huge cap problem. That's kind of how these things work out. They get old, they get fat, and it's just they're going to be real bad in a couple of years, in my opinion. Which is interesting because when does the new stadium open up? Next year? 2 years.
Next year.
So they'll be good next year, and I think that's maybe what they're trending for. But I think 2022, this team's a bottom feeder.
Wow.
Rams,
Crazy to think about.
They just don't. Scott said it. They're not going to be able to pay anybody.
Yeah, they got no
Who's
money.
going to be on the team? Unless you, the option. If they draft out of their heads, then maybe.
Late. Exactly.
Sixth round picks they're gonna have to nail.
Yeah, then fine. And that's always a possibility. But you just
there's only so
quite a
many
gamble.
Gunnar Olszewskis out there.
Oh jeez, taking it deep.
Yeah. Next up, Redskins taking on the 49ers in Washington. Niners -9.5.
Square spot 2.0, laying the 9.5. I mean, this Redskins team is horrid. They almost lost to the Dolphins. That Dolphins team is trying to lose. So, yeah, the concern is body clock, offensive line, travel East Coast. I don't care. It's Bill Callahan versus a team that can stuff the run, and all he wants to do is run the ball. Case Keenum still banged up. Square spot 2.0. I'll lay the 9.5 at the Niners. And it's a super contest play.
Yeah, punt here. I've been wrong on the Niners. No interest in laying 10 points on the road because the flip side is true. What Scott said, if they're in San Francisco, this is more like a 17-18, and I would not be laying that in the NFL. So no part of the Redskins. Let's be crystal clear there. Just can't get to the window with the Niners.
Niners got to be the most surprising team. I think it was after week 3 or 4, everyone was making fun of the fact that they were still undefeated and how they didn't belong amongst the undefeateds, and now here they are. Crazy.
Yeah, yours truly. I did that, and then they've had 2 really nice wins.
Yeah. Chargers taking on the Titans in Tennessee.
Ugh.
And the favorite is also the Titans, -2.5. Is it going to be Aloha Bitches or no?
No, it's Tannehill.
Oh, that's right.
Tannehill. I love it. The Titans cost me a lot of money last weekend. I'll be honest. I had to make a payment this week. I hadn't made one of those. Humble brag. In a little bit of time.
I had to fill the envelope.
I had to fill the envelope. Usually I was just receiving the envelope. So I had to fill the envelope because of this Tennessee Titans team, in part because of them. And I'm sadsies about it. But I'm coming back on the Titans because the Chargers' offensive line is horrid. The Titans are going to look to pound the rock against this Chargers rush defense that can't stop anybody. With short Chargers going into the season, I'm going to continue to be short the Chargers. I'll take the Titans at home, get right spot. I said that last weekend. I really mean it this weekend.
I double mean it this weekend. I'm trying to get my money back. Look, this Chargers team lost to what's-his-face from Samford and just complete dumpster fire. I think the coach sucks. Going on the road, Tennessee team, this game is disgusting. I will watch precisely 0.0 seconds. I'll be interested to see what Tannehill does with the offense. Can't get any worse than what we've seen from Marcus Mariota. On principle, I agree with Scott, but we'll not be playing it.
I like that he has a full week with the ones. He has weapons. Corey Davis, A.J. Brown, these guys are legit. Delaney Walker, Derrick Henry, they have a team here. This should be a good team. Also, by the way, this is a loser goes home type of game.
Ooh.
Loser is going to be 2-5, and they're donezo.
Dunzo. We're not done chain on this show. We're dunzo. You're dunzo.
Not sure what you guys are talking about. Is this another movie reference?
No.
Let's spare the listeners from the 10-minute barrage that we went on before we hit record.
I recorded all that, by the way, and I really want to post it, but I won't. Next up,
We'll have 0 listeners next week.
Well, I was about to
Extra
chime
pot.
in with a little fat bastard quote when Scott was like, keep your money. I want to be like, you can keep your mojo and your money, but I want the baby. I want my baby back.
Nailed
baby
it,
back,
Micah.
baby back. Babes.
Micah watches way too many movies.
Next up, Ravens and the MVP taking on the real MVP, Russell and the Seahawks. Seahawks at home favored -3.
Not touching this in any which way. I love my man Russell Wilson. I think that the Ravens are actually a little sneaky in this spot, and they're going to go on the road and get the win, but I'm not going to bet on it. I'm just going to prognosticate on it, but I'm not betting it.
Ooh.
If I had
say
to
it
go
in
to
the
the head, I'll take the points with the Ravens, and I'd take a money line, but I'm going to pass because I think there's more value elsewhere this weekend.
I'll push back. I didn't take him in the contest, but I'm going to get to the window. I think this one will come down, hopefully off of the 3, and I can hit our boy Danger Russ at home.
Gross.
Laying less than a field goal. I would love to get there with that, or maybe throw him in some money line parlays. But I just don't. I think the Ravens, candidly, are still riding the bloodbath that they put on the Dolphins in Week 1, and we've seen what's happened since there. They beat a pretty uncompetitive Cincinnati team last week. Did get backdoored, yes, but I haven't seen a whole lot since that Week 1 performance. So I'll take the Seahawks here in a home field that probably is one of the places that's worth 4 to 4.5 points.
We've been on
in
that
the
field,
NFL.
remember? Jared, don't step on the line now.
Yeah, this lady was like a militant about where we could go and couldn't go.
Sir, step away from the line!
Sir?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next up, who dat? Traveling to Soldier Field to take on the Bears. Bears at home, -3.5.
So since we had the benefit of recording this on a Friday,
Friday.
we know that Kamara's out, Jared Cook's out. I love this Bear spot off the bye. Desperate team needs to get the win. Trubisky needs to get himself right and build some confidence. This is a great spot for the Bears. I mean, I don't know how the Saints are going to move the ball at all against this Bears defense. So I'll lay the 3.5. It's in one of my super contest plays and one of my circa entries.
Yep, Bears also a play for me, laying the 3.5. I'll piggyback on what Scott said. A lot of injuries for the Saints. Teddy Two Gloves will be out there in the cold. They really haven't moved it that much. A lot of people know that I've been on the Saints since Drew Brees went down, and have been quite successful betting on them. Flipping the script this week and betting against. They haven't really been moving the ball. I don't think that they'll move it at all against this Bears defense.
Bears.
Mitchell Trubisky is terrible, awful. But with 2 weeks to prepare, I trust Matt Nagy to find a way to trick his way into the end zone a couple of times. And as I said, not under 10 points from the Saints here in my estimation. Bears lay the short number and get it done.
Bears.
Not Bears.
Sunday night, Eagles, Cowboys. Talk about a team that's just vanished into a flash of fire. Poof. Like a
Both of
Houdini
them.
trick. Yeah. Cowboys, this is going to be at Jerry World. They're -2.5. Thank God there's no Salvation Army jug for Zeke to jump into.
Staying far away from this one, I think it's going to be one of the most picked games. I think it's going to be a polarizing game you see in the Super Contest on both sides, Eagles and Cowboys. The Cowboys truthers will lay the 2.5 because it's less than a field goal. The Eagles truthers will be all over. I'm thinking they're going to win outright. I want no piece of either side. I think both have looked pretty horrid the last couple of weeks. The Eagles secondary is trash, but you don't know if Amari Cooper's playing. You don't know if Randall Cobb is playing. They're both banged up. Gallup is just getting back. The Eagles stuff the run so well. So what's Zeke going to do? I'm not touching this one. No part of it. Pass all the way. Gun to the head, I'd be on the Eagles, but I'm not.
Yep. Yeah, nothing for me here. I'll be tuned in. I think this is one of those games where NBC gets this on the schedule and they just get so excited because they know everyone will be paying attention and watching. So that, I'm still a football fan, so that I'll be locked in for this one. Al Michaels. I wish I could just mute Collinsworth and listen to Al Michaels only, but that's not an option. So I'll listen And yeah, probably Eagles money line for me. It would be the play if you guys are listening to this and you're like, hey, I'm going to watch this game and I need a bet, then bet Eagles money line.
Yeah, best part of
not,
Collinsworth is rolling. And you don't need volume for that.
Yeah.
Right when you roll, it's honestly, it's beautiful execution.
Micah getting in the production weeds over here. I have no idea what any of this nonsense is.
What, you know how it always opens up and it's just Al Michaels?
Yeah, he rolls in. Yeah, it's just
camera
him and then
pans
cut
out. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Absolutely beautiful. You know what I realized today, though? Do you have something else to say about that game, Jared? I'll let you go.
No, I do not. But that's only 4 picks. I do have a pick on the game we have not yet discussed, but we want to do it.
I do too, and it's one of my favorite ones of the weekend.
Ooh.
Recap show.
Yeah, we're saving it for the recap show this week for realsies.
Okay.
Because last week I was like, we're going to save it, and then you both dove into it. I was like, oh, okay, cool.
I know. I was so excited. It covered. It got there.
It got there. Slowly but surely, it built up to it. What I was going to say was, I realized today, and obviously we were big Bills podcast here, but I realized today that all 4 of their Super Bowl losses were to an NFC East team.
Yeah, what? Cowboys?
It went
Cowboys.
Giants, Redskins, Cowboys.
Oh,
wow.
Yeah.
woof.
Fun
I never
fact.
realized that until just today.
Look at you. Look at the chief researcher, head researcher.
I mean, I got to do what I got to do sometimes. Sometimes I actually put work into the show. Other times, not so much.
Don't get ahead of yourself.
Only
Don't break your arm patting yourself on the back over there.
I'm not that flexible, you know that. Plus, my biceps are too big. I can't put my arms that far back. Oh, man. I'm huge, people. If you're listening to the show, I am massive. I'm an absolute
Huge.
unit. Well,
Around the waist.
exactly. Actually, I still fit into my jeans I bought my junior year of high school. I bought my first pair of jeans this year since my junior year of high school. I bought jeans this year.
Oh, this year.
Yeah. I'm saying I bought my first pair of jeans since my junior year of high school.
I was gonna say you didn't pay for those. Why?
I didn't pay for anything. But anywho, that's going to do it for this week's edition of Pigskin Junkies. I'm Michael Larson. That's the big brother, Jared Larson. And as always, the Scott Panza talking NFL Week 7. Let us know what you think. Tweet us your picks. We're out of here.
Don't go chasing waterfalls.
Cash it.